And you're welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. It promises to be informative. Today's edition, we will focus on UK Global Talent Visa for the field of digital technology. That will be our focus for today's edition of eMigr8 Open Day. As you would know, eMigr8 works and focuses on tech-enabled visa opportunity for relocation and settlement. Within the eMigr8 Open Day, we've touched on a number of visa opportunities over the years that eMigr8 has started. We've spoken about different visa opportunity from Canada to France, to the UK, to the United Kingdom, Australia, and so on. But for today's edition, our focus will be on the UK Global Talent Visa, and we will be sharing some helpful resources. We'll be sharing some helpful information, and there will be opportunity for open consultation during this edition as well. Our open consultation is when you can actually come on stage and you can ask the coach, myself in today's edition, you can ask questions. What we'll just say is that because we are live streaming, and this is a recorded session, please do not share anything you do not want in the public domain. In eMigr8 Open Day, it's going to be a journey of about 1 hour to 1.5 hours, and we would focus on the UK Global Talent Visa for the field of digital technology. If you're a beginner in the room, you'll get a lot of information around how you can plan for this particular visa. If you're already ready to apply, you will get a lot of information and also a lot of helpful resources around what you can use in terms of as you are preparing your application. In addition, if you wait till the end of the session, we do have a gift for you. So if you wait till the end of this session today, there's a gift that we will be giving out, and we'll be telling you about it towards the end of the session today. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat, or in the case of this edition, it doesn't happen in every edition of eMigr8 Open Day. We will have an opportunity for you to come on screen and then ask your question, and then you can have some sort of interaction during the edition as well. Just to make sure that I'm not speaking to myself, could you just drop in the chat if you can hear me? And also, could you drop in the chat if you can see my screen? Drop in the chat if you can hear me, and also please drop in the chat if you can see my screen. Thank you. Thank you. I see your messages. Okay, I see your messages. Thank you. You're welcome. You won't be able to unmute yourself for now, but yes, there will be a time during this edition where you can come on stage and then you can ask questions as regards anything you want to. But please bear in mind, even though this is eMigr8 Open Day and eMigr8 focuses on tech-enabled visa opportunities from across the world, today's edition, we are focused on the UK Global Talent Visa, and we'll be talking about some helpful resources that we believe you should know about and that may be able to help you during your journey if you are either preparing to apply in the future or you are currently working on your application. And even if you have applied and then you're working on your stage 2, preparing to move to the UK, we have a few things that may be helpful to you as well. But before, and eMigr8 is around tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. Today's edition, we will start by just sharing a bit around what eMigr8 is, what eMigr8 is not. Then we'll focus on why we're in the room today, talking about the UK Global Talent Visa, and we will talk about some of those resources and so on that we feel like you should know about. We'll take a pause, we'll take questions, and then based on the questions, we'll be able to focus on some other aspects of resources that are available and that we feel like you should know about and you should have as a member of our community. That being said, you're welcome again. We will just say that don't forget that we have a number of eMigr8 Open Day sessions that are recorded. Some of these sessions are extremely useful. Some of these sessions are around the UK Global Talent Visa. Extremely useful sessions. We ask that you please go check the recordings, particularly if you are looking at a specific visa route. We have likely done an open day on that route. Usually our open days are 1.5 hours focused on and drilling down into that specific visa route. They're available. Many of them are free to members of our community. And so we ask that you go look for those sessions and replay them. Today's edition will be around helpful resources if you're applying or planning to apply in the future for the UK Global Talent Visa. We have more editions of eMigr8 Open Day coming up. We would have editions around the Innovator Founder Visa and many other visa routes, as you can see on the screen today. What is eMigr8? For us at eMigr8, we say that we help you become globally attractive. Yes, you may have come into the room because you are interested in one visa pathway or the other, particularly tech-enabled visa pathway. But that in itself for us is a side effect of a bigger objective from our perspective at eMigr8. The reason why this is so is because the visa opportunities that we talk about on this platform, they are not there because those countries want to do you a favor. The visa opportunities exist because the countries are forward-looking. And those countries are saying that, oh, we want the best talents in the world to come to our jurisdiction. We want them to come to build our economy. We want them to come work in our jurisdiction. We want them to bring their innovation. We want them to bring their ideas. We want them to bring themselves into our economy because we know that our economy will be better off because these individuals are in our jurisdiction. Many of those visa opportunities fall into this category, whether there are opportunities around your talent, whether there are opportunities around your startup, or because you get a job, skilled worker across multiple countries. So we are talking the US, you are talking the UK, we are talking Canada, France, Germany, a bunch of countries. People have realized, the world has realized that talent is the new oil. And so they're asking that come with your talents, come and build our economy. They are not doing you a favor. And this is how we help at eMigr8. We help you become globally attractive. Two options, either with your tech-enabled profile or your tech-enabled business. With your tech-enabled profile, we are able to take a look at the profile, or your tech-enabled business, which typically will be a startup. You have options. You can choose to work in your home economy and contribute within your home economy. You can choose to live in your home economy, but work globally, remotely in many countries that I mentioned earlier. You can then choose to say, oh no, I want to move with my family or I want to move by myself to this jurisdiction based on my career trajectory at this point in time. It's up to you because you have options. And that's what we help you to become in eMigr8. We help you become globally attractive. We have services, and our services cover information sessions, general inquiry, coaching and handholding. We are able to help with assessment of do you already qualify or what do you need to do to qualify. We're able to help with a roadmap to say, one of the things we see a lot in eMigr8 is that you should have a roadmap for yourself, whether you build it yourself or you need help from our coaches to help build a roadmap for you because of the information that is available. We help with the self-directed roadmap. And then if you need handholding to say, oh, I'm on this journey and I need help in terms of handholding to take me through the journey for me to become globally attractive, recognized by different jurisdictions of the world, where I can move with a visa in that jurisdiction, eMigr8 is able to help with that. With the UK Global Talent Visa as an example, we can help with reviewing your application if you need help with that. We can help with an endorsement review process if you need a bit of advice on that. And it gets better. A lot of the things that we do for free, right? eMigr8 runs a freemium model. A freemium model is that we do a lot of things for free, but then we do charge a premium for some of our services as well. On the free side, we have information and inspiration. One of them is this open day, where we hope that you go away having a lot of information about what it is that you can do today and having information that you didn't have before. We have the eMigr8 community on multiple social media platforms, on Twitter, on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, and several other social media platforms. We ask that you join those communities. You ask questions there. We have coaches on those communities that are also happy to help. And that's what we do at eMigr8. We have our monthly open days. We have introductory videos. We have open consultation sessions. We'll have some of that today if you have questions. We have visa-specific office hours, and we have short inquiry sessions as well. Short inquiry sessions are one-to-one sessions, private sessions, and these are free. What we ask you to do, however, is before you come for the private one-to-one session, we want you to have used all the information available. Do your own research, because we want you to make the best use of the coach's time. The coach is happy to help, but the coaches don't like questions like, what is global talent visa? You can Google that. What is the requirement for global talent visa? You can come to an open day like this one to understand that. We want you to have done your own research, and then if you get stuck because, you have a specific question based on your own profile, based on your own unique circumstance, then those are the best types of questions that you may want to come to a short inquiry session to ask, because it would then be helpful for you. On the premium side, we've got a bunch of services on the premium side as well, including eMigr8 Circle, which is a premium community. We have personalized coaching sessions and several other items as well. If you're interested in any of these services, you can simply go to the link, beancom.net/eMigr8, and then we'll be able to take the journey forward from there. In addition to our services, we do our packages as well, combining multiple services together around move to the UK as a global talent, move to the US as a global talent, move to the UK as an innovator founder, and several other packages as well. Here is the links to some of our eMigr8 community. We ask that you like, you share, make comments, ask questions. We're happy to help, and this is free to you. eMigr8 is a part of a company called Beancom Dev Center, which is a talent development platform. Within Beancom Dev Center, there are some services you may also be interested in. One of them is the Beancom Global Tech Program. The Beancom Global Tech Program is built across 3 key pillars. The first pillar is for you to learn tech, gain experience, and then gain exposure in the field of technology. If, for example, you're a beginner in the field of technology and you're looking for a program that can take you from one stage to the other, this is a perfect program for you, because you can start from the beginner stage and the program can take you through all the process you need to build your talent to the next level. But also, if you're at the intermediate stage in your career where you realize that I don't have the right experience or exposure, this is also a recommended program, because it can take you from one level to the next along those key pillars. You can find more information at beancom.net/globaltech. And this is a part of that program where we help you become a tech talent within a 3-month period, combining tech trainings with career coaching sessions, with apprenticeship with UK company reference and experience, and several other features as well. For the experts in the room, we're asking you to come mentor on the Beancom mentoring platform. Volunteer as a mentor, but please bear in mind that in doing so, you get something in return as well. One of the things you will find out, if you don't already know, is that when some of these countries say be globally attractive, something they would like to see is you mentoring other people, is you building the ecosystem. And this is the Beancom mentoring platform. We have a lot of people at different stages that are looking up and looking for mentors. And so please sign up on the link is on the screen. Sign up as a mentor. And this can even help you qualify for a tech-enabled visa in the future. The Beancom mentoring platform is looking for you as an expert in the field to mentor younger people that are just starting their journey in the field of technology. We also have Labs by Beancom. Labs by Beancom helps you to build a product-led digital technology with a team within 3 to 6 months. The way it works is that we bring together a group of 3 to 10 people who will create a startup from scratch. A real catch is that whatever it is that your team is building must be used by real life users. So you are going to go through the entire journey of building a startup. And then You never know that journey. For some of the cohorts within Labs I've become, they've decided to take that journey further, where they are now building it into something phenomenal in the space. And some of them, you hear about them over a period of time. It's practical learning experience. It's an opportunity to improve your career, and it's also an opportunity to improve your portfolio as a techie. The last service I'll talk about, Bincom has a lot of other services, but the last one I'll talk about is our tech career coaching service. It's around tech employment and recruitment services for individuals. This service helps you to land your next role faster. And how we do that is we help you build the relevant experience in your target country. It's only available in the UK at this point. We connect you with technical recruiters. We work with you to find roles that can land you skilled worker visa. That's for the UK, work visa that has sponsorship. And that's the Bincom Tech Career Coaching Service. This is also available, and you can take a look at the URL on the screen, which is bincom.net/tech career coaching. For some of us in the room, this is a screen that you may want to take a screenshot of, because this lists out some of the different tech-enabled visa pathways. This is not an exhaustive list of visas. Don't forget, eMigr8 focuses on only tech-enabled visa pathways. Also, this is not an exhaustive list of even tech-enabled visa pathways. Just to give you an example, somewhere for you to start from to say, oh, these are visa opportunities that are available. Do I qualify for one or the other of these visa opportunities? Today's edition, we are focusing on the UK Global Talent Visa. That's what we are focusing on. But don't forget that there's a lowest common denominator for all these visa opportunities. The lowest common denominator is that be globally attractive. If you are globally attractive, you will have options. You will have options of multiple visa opportunities, including staying in your home jurisdiction and earning from other jurisdiction within your own jurisdiction. That's why eMigr8 is set up. That's how eMigr8 is able to help. For us at eMigr8, we focus on opportunities that has a pathway to settlement, either a direct pathway to settlement or an indirect pathway to settlement. We focus on opportunities where you can move with your family. We focus on opportunities where even if you're a beginner today, you can plan, right? We focus only on tech-enabled visa opportunities. And to a large extent, for many of these visa opportunities, we do open days where we drill down end-to-end in terms of the requirement for these visa opportunity. So that's what eMigr8 is. And we will just take a quick pause, and then we'll go to the next section for today's open day. Don't forget, as I said, if you wait till the end, we have a gift for you. Also, during this edition of eMigr8 Open Day, we will have the open consultation session, open coaching session. What that means is that you can come on stage and you can ask questions. The only challenge is that with the platform we're using, Zoom, you cannot come on stage if you don't have your video on. So please bear that in mind. Also bear in mind that this is a recorded session. And so don't ask anything you do not want in public domain. In the next section, we will talk about some resources that we feel like you should drill down into, and we'll drill down into some of those resources which we feel like it's extremely helpful for the UK Global Talent Visa. We'll drill down into some of these resources one by one, and then over a period of time, we will then pause for questions. So we'll take a quick break now, and then when we come back, we will drill down into some helpful resources that you can use for the UK Global Talent Visa. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Thank you for joining us. For those that just joined us now, thank you for joining us for this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Our focus during this edition is on the UK Global Talent Visa, also known as the Tech Nation Visa. Today, we will be speaking around helpful resources, particularly if you are applying for your Tech Nation visa, or if you are preparing to apply in the future for that same visa. We'll be speaking about some of these resources that we feel like you should pay close attention to, you should drill down into, and they would be really helpful for you. The first one we'll talk about, and this is important for many reasons. The first one we'll talk about is the Tech Nation Visa Guide. And a number of people, I coach on the eMigr8 platform, and so I can say this authoritatively. People don't read. People don't like reading. Right. I can say this authoritatively. And the reason is because this particular visa guide, it's a long read. It'll probably take you 1 hour to read. But this visa guide is the official guide as regards this particular visa. And it has a lot of information. In fact, that may be a bit daunting for some people. The fact that there's so much information available on this one page. This guide talks about a number of the things that you need to know. Yes, you may need help translating some of these to your own specific profile, which is why we have the coaching platform on eMigr8. But then the first thing we always ask people to do is that if you're interested in this particular visa opportunity, read this guide twice. This is the official guide from Tech Nation that is contracted as the endorsing body for the UK government. Read this guide twice. On this guide, you will find a number of information, a lot of it. You will find information about typical applicants, and you will find out that unlike what some people say, if you're a technical applicant working for a non-technical organization, you are eligible for this visa route. But also, if you're in a business role, right, in a technical organization, you are also likely eligible for this route. So some people are exceptional talent, Tech Nation visa, tech talent, and what they are thinking immediately is, oh, technical talent are only the people they are looking for. That's not true. Tech talent there means technology talent. So if you are in the business side of tech or you're on the technical side of tech, you can qualify for the UK Global Talent Visa route. And this guide also talks about some of the skills that you should look at. It talks about the technical skills and also the business skills. So you will find many rules there to say, oh, if you're a cybersecurity expert, this visa is for you. If you are a UI UX designer, this visa is for you. If you're a mobile app designer or developer, this visa is for you. And that's on the technical side. But also on the business side of things, there's also you have a number of skills that are listed. So if you are into technology sales, this may be for you. If you are an experienced product manager, this visa is for you. If you are in performance marketing, that's digital marketing, right? This visa is for you. And it goes on like that, right? But please understand that even if your role is not listed here, the guide actually says it to say that even if your role is not explicitly listed here, you may still qualify, particularly if you are building a product-led digital technology, whether you're on the business side or on the technical side. There's, however, a category of people that this visa is not for, and it is stated there explicitly as well on the visa guide. If you are into consulting generally, this visa is not for you. But if you are in consulting, maybe you were in consulting before, but then you've now switched to building a product-led digital technology that has traction, then it may be for you. So don't automatically rule yourself out because you've been a consultant all your career. You may still qualify for this visa, maybe not immediately, maybe in the future. Also, if you've worked in product-led digital technology in the past, and then maybe you're now in consulting at this point, you may also be able to use the traction, your achievement in that product-led digital technology as your ticket, as your claim to fame as regards these visa routes. It goes on. It talks about the eligibility criteria, and I'll just focus on the exceptional talent aspect, but bear in mind that there are two categories. There's exceptional talent, there's exceptional promise. Exceptional talent is, if you qualify under that category, you would be able to qualify for indefinite leave to remain after 3 years. Exceptional promise, if you qualify under that category, it would be after 5 years. For either category, you need to qualify under 3 out of 5 criteria. The first criteria is mandatory for everybody, which is that you need to show that you are a leading talent. Then there are 4 other criteria, but you need to just pick 2 of those. One of the things that people make mistakes of doing is that they just pack all their documents together without reading this guide. And this guide has now clearly and explicitly said that before now, it's something we advised on the eMigr8 platform, but now it's clearly stated in the guide, which is that when you are applying, put documents that will support each one of the categories. So you have an opportunity of submitting 10 documents. Put 3 documents for one category, put another 3 documents for the next category, and then 3 more documents for the next category. The last document, you can use it for any one of those categories. So it can be 433, 343, and so on, right? And now they've said that you can't depend on the same evidence to support 2 different categories at the same time. Find something else. If you are truly qualified, then you should have enough evidence to be able to show the assessor that you are qualified for this visa route. Exceptional talent, I was talking about the category. So leading talent is compulsory. Then you have to choose 2 out of 4. You have to choose out of showing innovation, recognition, significant contribution or impact, and then academic excellence, academic contribution. You need to choose 2 out of those 4. Now, you may say, oh, how do I show each one of these categories and all? This guide also breaks it down for you of what exactly it is that you need to talk about. And if you go lower in the guide, you will see more information about this. Also, in terms of the documents that you need to submit, there are about 15 key documents you need to submit in total, right? Those documents as well, this guide talks about it, including your personal statement. And a lot of people don't realize it, but your personal statement is one of the most important bits of this particular application process. And the reason for that is because it is in your personal statement that you need to say, I am exceptional. Don't let inferiority complex tell you otherwise. For this particular visa, you need to be able to state why you think you're exceptional. And then your recommenders have to be able to back you up as well to say you are exceptional. That if there were 10 PHP developers in the room, this person would be number 1 or number 2 out of those 10. That's what you need to be able to show in this visa category, for this specific visa category. You need to be able to show that you built and you had either innovation, traction, recognition in a product-led digital technology. Those are the things that you need to show for this particular visa opportunity. Your personal statement needs to talk about it. Your personal statement needs to talk about your journey in tech, what you've achieved so far, why you think you're exceptional. It should talk about how you will benefit the UK digital tech ecosystem as well. So don't just say, oh, I want to move to the UK because the UK will help my career. What are you bringing? What are you taking to the UK to help the UK ecosystem? When we started this session today, I explained that this visa is not there to do you a favor. This visa is there because they are looking for the best of the best. And you are one of them. The fact that you're on this call, you are one of them. Even if you don't qualify as at this moment, the thing is that this guide shows you a map of what you can do today, such that in the next maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, maximum 2 years, if you're a beginner, absolute beginner, within 2 years, you can actually qualify. So how about you that you've been doing a lot of things in tech already? Within that time, one of the things you should be doing is take a look at this visa opportunity, take a look at the criteria and map your profile against this criteria. Are there gaps? If there are gaps, do you want to start filling those gaps now so that in a few months, in a few weeks, whatever, you will be able to apply? Something you should also know is that this visa criteria is also similar to the US O1 visa criteria. One of the things I say to people is that if you qualify for the UK Global Talent Visa, you likely also would qualify for the US O1 visa. Likely, right? Now, we are not speaking about the US O1 visa today. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, many of these countries are looking at the same parameters. They are looking at the same indicators to open their gates of their country to you as an individual. The question is, where are you in that journey? Have you looked at the criteria? Have you mapped your profile against the criteria? How is your profile looking? Also, don't forget that you need 3 recommenders to also write for you. Are you building those relationships today? Do you have the right recommenders who are also leading talents in the field of technology, who will be able to say, this person is a talent in the field of technology? For the UK, they are looking for 3 people to recommend you, 3 people who are talents by themselves. In the past, they didn't call your recommenders. In the past, they didn't verify those letters to say, did your recommenders actually write this letter? Now they do. So you can't just say, oh, I'll just find random people that don't know me and all of that. They actually verify now to say, oh, did these recommenders, do they actually know you? The recommenders also have to show how they know you. And the guide has also been updated to say that they need to show how they know you for at least 1 year. So you can't say, oh, I met this person at an event and then now the person is my recommender. You need to be able to show, oh, for over a 1 year period, this is how the recommender knows you. But I mean, there are ways around this, right? Because you might be industry colleagues, you may have met in multiple events and all of that. So it doesn't have to be that. And this is also erroneous that some people think to say you must have worked with each of these recommenders in the same country, in the same company. That is not true. What it is that the recommenders must know your work and they need to show how they know your work. That's what the guide says. So please bear that in mind. We're still talking about one out of multiple resources that we'll be speaking about today around some resources that we feel like you should know about and that you should make best use of as regards applying for the UK Global Talent Visa. This specific resource also talks about the different criteria, breaks it down, tells you what you need to do because of that criteria, what you need to be looking at because of that specific criteria. For those just joining us, welcome to this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. We're talking about resources that you should know about and you should make good use of as regards the UK Global Talent Visa. We've spoken about the Tech Nation Visa Guide, which is one of the resources that we feel like you should pay very close attention to. Next, we will speak about the discourse channel. The discourse channel is a public channel that we feel like you should know about. And if you are really trying to apply or planning to apply at this point, you should probably bookmark the discourse channel. It is not the official channel. And please bear that in mind. This channel is put together by alumni of this visa opportunity. People that have gotten this visa opportunity, people that have gotten the visa are the people that have volunteered to put this together and to make this available. In this channel, a lot of visa ambassadors, visa alumni are available to answer questions. Right? In fact, for many visa alumni, they prefer to answer the question publicly in this channel so that it can help many people at the same time. As you can imagine, a lot of different people would go into DMs of different people to say, oh, I'm trying to apply, come and help me right now, and all of that. This is time on the different people you are asking. And yes, some people may have that kind of time, but some people don't. Many people don't, in fact. Right? Because they are busy, they have their own life to live. However, what has happened is over the years and over the months, the visa alumni, we encourage them as well to contribute on this channel. So if you have a specific question, you can ask. Now, what would happen is that different people will give you different opinion as regards the question. One of the questions that people ask a lot is, oh, rate my profile. Right? I really am not a fan of that specific question because rate my profile is not the right question from my own perspective. Right? But it's a question that people have, and you could have multiple other questions that you want to ask. And to a large extent, a number of visa alumni and a number of people, some that have not even yet gotten the visa, but because they have some information, are able to answer the question. Questions like, oh, when would I become eligible to become a citizen? Questions like, I don't want to go into any specific question today. We've done that in some past open days before, so you can go into those if you're interested. But yeah, there are multiple questions there that you can read about. There are two things that you should do. The first one is just read generally. Some people's circumstances are similar to yours. You can also Google to say your knowledge track, your skill. You can Google that and look for other people who have your similar profile. You will find in this forum people that have gotten the visa and some of the documents that they submitted, the types of evidence that they submitted. You will also find in this forum people that have gotten rejected, and in some cases, the feedback they got from their rejection. What you can do with that is that you can use that to take a look at, oh, what am I planning to submit? Oh, this person submitted and they said that, oh, all his letters are similar, right? Meaning that the person used a template or wrote the letters for the recommenders. Don't do that. Oh, this person used ChatGPT. Believe it or not, somebody used ChatGPT to submit an application and they got caught. Oh yeah, by the way, please bear in mind that before now, you could submit fraudulent documents to TechNation and you generally don't get reported to the Home Office. That has also changed. If you get found guilty, you could get up to 10 years ban in terms of visa ban in the UK. Please bear that in mind, right? And some things that TechNation considers fraud, some people may not. For example, TechNation expects your recommenders to write the letter by themselves. That's what they expect. In practice, a lot of recommenders will say, oh, give me a draft and I will just edit the draft and I will sign on your behalf. You need to be careful with that because it may be misconstrued on the other side if your letters are all looking similar. But these are lessons that you can learn because you spend time doing your own research. You will find different types of profile, and we have a number of people in the community who are also answering questions on this community. And so this is one of the resources that we feel like you should be aware of. And this is one of the resources that we feel like you would find extremely useful if you spend the right time looking for them. This is in public domain, and a number of visa alumni are committed to working on and answering questions. I'm also committed to answering questions on that specific forum as well. So please bear in mind as one of the channels where you can ask questions. We also have the eMigr8 community. I talked about it earlier, where we have eMigr8 coaches who are also available to answer questions. eMigr8 coaches are happy to answer your questions within the community. If you ask them questions privately, they will ask you to please post it in the community. And the reason is very simple. The question that you have, other people may have the same question. And we want to be able to help as many people as possible at the same time. That's the reason why we would say it's not because we are trying to be rude or anything. Some people take it personal, right? But imagine 50 people asking the same question in a day, right? And that's not my day job. So please bear that in mind. We've made the community available. The community is open most of the time. You can ask questions there. The community will be able to answer, and we have a number of coaches available to answer within the eMigr8 community as well. And eMigr8 community focuses not just on the UK Global Talent Visa, focuses on tech-enabled visa opportunities across the world. But we've also shared with you a specific channel where you can find information about a specific channel where you can find information on specifically the UK Global Talent Visa. So those are two communities you may want to bookmark. We will share the link as regards the eMigr8 community again during the course of this session. So that's two out of about 4 or 5 that we are planning to share during this session. We're going to take a quick break again, and then when we come back, we'll be looking at eMigr8 Open Day videos. Remember, we've said that if you wait till the end of this session, we have a gift for you. Also remember that during this edition, you can come on live and then you can ask questions if you want to on this session. We'll be right back. Thank you. We're back. Just to make sure I'm not speaking to myself, could you drop in the chat if you can still hear me? All right, I can see some questions in the chat. We will attend to as many questions as possible. All right. A few other things you should know about. The Tech Nation office also does a number of events. They do physical events in different countries, but they also do events across, they do virtual events as well. You should look out for some of those events. It may also be helpful to ask questions directly from the Tech Nation Visa team. There's also the Tech Nation Visa ambassadors. And what ambassadors are there for also is to answer questions, right? You can reach out to ambassadors. Some of them You can find that online. Just search for Tech Nation Visa Ambassador, and you can find a lot of information around the visa ambassadors who are also available to answer questions and give direction as much as possible. For those of us that have already gotten our endorsement, there are a couple of resources that we'll just talk about that is available to you within the eMigr8 community, and also maybe not within the eMigr8 community. There's the alumni visa community. It's a Slack community, and there's also a WhatsApp community as well for the visa. So if you've gotten your visa, or if you are watching the replay video, or you've gotten your visa after this time, you can contact and then get into the Slack community. It is very helpful, particularly for things like, oh, you're trying to move, you're trying to ask questions about your next stage of the journey. Because don't forget, getting the visa is not the end in itself. It's the beginning of a new chapter in your career and in your life, right? So there's still work to be done. There's still help that may be needed. The visa alumni community exists on Slack. For people in Nigeria, for Nigerians, there's a Nigeria community as well on WhatsApp, very active community. And those are communities you may want to join once you've gotten your endorsement for this visa. There's a project that we are part of, which is called Welcome Party. It's a document that gives you a lot of information around moving to the UK, starting from what you should prepare for your trip, to what you should do within your first day of getting to the UK, to what you should do after 1 month, what you should do within the first year, and so on. Welcome Party breaks that down for you step by step. It's a syndicated document, so you may see versions of it in different communities as well. But that's something you may want to look out for if you've already been endorsed and you're now on the next stage of the journey, which is moving to the UK. eMigr8 is also available to help. We have in-country communities within the different countries that we support in eMigr8. We are focused on the UK today. So UK, we've got an in-country UK community, eMigr8, but then there are communities as well and coaches in different countries. And these coaches are always happy to help. Always happy to help. eMigr8's business model is a freemium model. What that means is that we do a lot of things for free, but then in addition, we charge a premium for some services. Many people, over 50%, 80%, many of the things you need are probably things that are covered in our free offering, but then we do charge a premium as well for some services. eMigr8 coaches would love to help, and please bear that in mind as well. The last resource, well, maybe not the last because it's a category of resource, and that's the one I'm going to speak on last for today. And then we will come to question and answer, and we'll come to our open consultation session. My colleagues will drop links to some of these resources in the community. And so if you're a member of our community, and hopefully in the description to this video, for those watching the replay, you should find the links to many of these resources that we're speaking about today in this edition of eMigr8 Open Day. The last resource we'll talk about, the last category of resource we will talk about before we go into our open consultation and question and answer session is eMigr8 Open Day videos that speaks around the visa. And the reason why you may want to be interested in that is because over the years, eMigr8 has spoken to a number of Tech Nation visa alumni. As part of our open days, we've probably done over 15 to 20 open days focused on the Tech Nation visa. Why this may be useful is because in addition to getting the general information about the visa, you would also probably find somebody, one of the coaches, who is similar to your profile. And I'll just talk about some of those profiles and some of those open days that you may be interested in going to watch. Many of our open days is 1.5 hours of information, of question and answer, and many of this is very useful if you take a look at them. So I'll talk about some of the profiles and some of the people who have done sessions on eMigr8 Open Day and videos that you can find within the eMigr8 community that may be helpful for you. For digital, for startup founders, we have different startup founders at different stages that have spoken at the eMigr8 Open Day. They've spoken around their journey. They've spoken around, for one of these people, they started out as working in an enterprise in a large organization, and then they started a startup, and then the startup failed. But then over a period of time, they've done other things, and then they applied for the visa. We've also had people who applied, got rejected, and then reapplied by just making some adjustment to their visa, making adjustment to the visa, to their application profile, and then they got accepted. There are videos around those that you can find within the eMigr8 community. We also have people who are digital marketers. So we have somebody exceptional promise. We've had somebody that was exceptional talent within digital marketing, performance marketing, digital marketing, growth hacking, and those kinds of profiles. We've had people along those lines who have gotten endorsed and they've shared their story. They've shared the different documents that they submitted. They've given advice. For every eMigr8 Open Day, we get our community, we get our coaches to share advice to the community, to the different category of eMigr8 Open Day and eMigr8 community members, from beginners to intermediate to advanced people, to people who have moved from their own country, but they are not on a pathway to settlement in the country where they are at the moment, and then to people who are ready to apply for the visa opportunity. They've had different sessions where they've given advice on that. So we ask that you go look for some of those sessions, and those sessions will be useful for you. We've had project managers, product managers speak on the eMigr8 Open Day platform as well. We've had them speak along the lines of what they did, how they applied, and how they applied for the visa. What document do you submit as a project manager? Do you even qualify as a project manager, or must you be a product manager? So many of these questions were answered by people who have been endorsed in one visa category or the other within the UK Global Talent Visa Scheme. And then they've spoken on the eMigr8 Open Day platform as regards their own journey and their own experience as well. Technical people, we've had different technical people, from backend developer to data scientists, different software technical people. We've had a number of them who have also spoken on the platform at different levels. We've had beginners, people who were beginners, and over 2 to 3 years, they applied and they started their career within 3 years and they got the visa. We've had them speak on the platform. We've had people who are 10 years, 15 years of experience before they applied for the visa. That would typically be exceptional talent. We've had them also speak on the eMigr8 platform, and they also got the visa, and they shared their experience. They shared the types of documents that they submitted. They shared the relationships that they needed to pull in terms of getting recommenders to recommend them, and all of this is available within eMigr8 Open Day. I want to leave time for questions. These resources are available within the eMigr8 community. Depending on your profile will determine what it is that you're looking for specifically, right? We've had people who got the visa in 2017 when the scheme started. We have people who got the visa in 2022. We have people who were helped directly by eMigr8, and we have people who were helped indirectly by eMigr8 as well, who have shared their experiences. And some of these is very useful for you as a member of the community. And we ask that you take a look at some of these visa opportunities and take a look at some of these resources, because they are absolutely useful for you. And we feel like it's useful, particularly if you are planning to apply in the future or you are currently planning your application. So those are resources. I'll just ask you to drop in the chat which resource were you most interested in. Please drop in the chat what did you find most interesting of the 5 or 6 resources that I shared. Which one of them did you find most interesting? And then we'll be coming to the session of question and answer at this point. We're coming to the open coaching session at this point. Please bear in mind, this is a recorded session. Do not share anything you don't want in the public domain. What you would do is please raise your hand using the raise hand button in Zoom. But because we are on Zoom, we cannot spotlight you if your video is not on. So we will need your video to be on as well for us to be able to spotlight you within this session. And so we'll come to the open consultation session. If you have questions and you don't want to come on video, you can also drop them in the chat and I will take as many of those questions as possible as well. I see somebody on already, so I'm going to add you to Spotlight. I'm going to ask you to unmute and then how are you doing today?
Fine. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. My name is Blessing Unoka.
Hi, Blessing.
I'm currently in Ogun State, but I'm based in Lagos. I just came for a job here in Ogun State. So I actually started this tech journey. That was early last year. So I didn't know where to start from, to tell you the truth. I just heard tech. I said, let me just start. You understand? So I started with product management. I was certified in product management July. Then I entered digital marketing. I'm a certified digital marketer. Then later this year, I was certified in app development. And I think this month I should have my certification from blockchain development. You understand? And I'm trying to look for I'm a teacher currently in Ogun State, but I'm trying to look for a way to leverage all this stuff. You understand? Because I'm always working. You understand? Because I'm always working, I don't really have much time to network with my fellow techies. You understand? So I don't have much time. But while I was studying to be a techie, last year during this, I'm trying to see how I can leverage on this visa, UK visa stuff. So this promising talent, like you mentioned, you understand? Last year I applied for this. Yes, sir. Promising. Yes, I screenshotted it. I'll go and read it later. So I applied for this CBN Naira hackathon last year. So I was among the 20 best teams. You understand? So
20 out of how many? How many people applied?
Like 20 best teams. Okay, let me say we are like up to like 2,000 and 100 were selected.
Okay.
So yeah, so my name was among the 100. Then this year, I also did, while I was studying for the technical aspect in tech, in this digital stuff in tech, I also went for the non-technical stuff. That's like product management. So
so sorry, Blessing. So that I would like you to get to the question, but there's something I want to point out. What are you an expert in at the moment? Because I've heard you say you have done blockchain, you've done product management, you've done a bunch of things. Which one are you an expert in at the moment?
Yes, I'm an expert in mostly app development.
So I saw your facial expression and you were not sure. And this is the problem. This visa, exceptional promise or exceptional talent, is for people who are experts in a field. Whether you're, well, maybe not experts, intermediate or experts, right? It is not for beginners in the field. Now, what you need to do is that you need to pick a career track and then you want to focus on that career track. There's a second reason why I would give you that advice. And the second reason is because in developing countries of the world, they may be interested in generalists. They may be interested in someone that can do graphics, UI, UX, project management, product management, all of it together in one skill, in one person. In many developed countries, particularly the UK, they are looking for specialists. So if you say that you're a product manager, we expect you to be an expert product manager. We expect you to know everything that has to do with that particular field. And then they don't really care about your certification, whether in developing or developed economy. They don't really care. What they care about is the experience that you have and the exposure that you have and the skill that you have. Those three things. Those are the things that they care about. And those are the things that you should be building. Now, speaking about this specific visa opportunity, what you need to do is that take a look at the visa guide. It has a list of a lot of things. So you will see a part that I didn't get to when I was talking about the guide to say, how do I show that I qualify under the mandatory criteria? And then there's like 2 pages of a list of things. Compare your profile to that list of 2 pages and see how many of it do you already tick as of today. Right? So one of the good indicators that you mentioned is you were selected as top 20 out of 1,000 people in your field. Fantastic indicator, fantastic indicator. But then you need more of those kinds of indicators as well, right? But then what skill are you going to apply under? Is it going to be on your blockchain? Is it going to be on product management and so on? Those are the challenges. But I'm sure you had a specific question. So you have 2 more minutes so that we can get to as many people as possible. What was your question? And 2 minutes for you to ask the question, and then I answered the question. So go straight to the question.
Yeah, so I have like 3 indexes. So like one is when I was among the 20 best teams in the eMigr8 CBN. Then yes, and the other index, I was among, then in business, I was among the 40 best female-led businesses this year, as well as the best 200 female-led businesses. So can I submit those index? Since I don't have any other, I just do it on my own, and to tell you I'm broke.
The answer is yes. Those are good indicators, but then is it sufficient by the time you weigh it? Don't forget that you need to qualify under 3 out of 5 criteria. 1 criteria is mandatory, leading talent. Then you need to pick 2 out of 4 other criteria. You need to pick either innovation, impact, recognition, or academic contribution. You need to pick 2 out of those other 4. What are the other evidence you are going to submit for to show that you are really a promising talent? I'm assuming you have less than 5 years of experience in the field, meaning that you can apply under exceptional promise, but then you need to then analyze based on that. I hope that was helpful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. If you'd like to come on stage, you need to raise your hand on Zoom, and then we need your camera on as well, or else we will not be able to spotlight you. I see a question in the chat. The question says, I was thinking of asking both the CEO and COO of the company I work for a recommendation. We don't advise this, and the reason why we don't advise this is because what will they say differently? Will the CEO and the COO say different things? Because at the end of the day, it's the same company at the end of the day. You should also understand that you want your 3 recommenders to talk about you from 3 different perspectives, right? All of them pointing at the fact that you are exceptional, but you want them to speak about you from 3 different perspectives. So one person may be saying, oh, this person mentored or built our community and so on. Somebody else can say, this was a fantastic person at work. Somebody else can be saying other things. I've been watching this journey from far, but you want them to talk about you from multiple perspectives, pointing at the same fact that you are exceptional. Each recommender needs to show how they've known your work for more than 1 year. Each recommender needs to be a leading talent themselves in the field of technology, meaning that if we Google them, we will find them online to say, oh, okay, this is someone. Or if they are not visible on Google, if I look at their profile, I know that, oh, this is a leading talent in the field as well. Please bear that in mind, and I hope I did justice to that question. All right, I see somebody's hand up, but your camera is not on. We cannot spotlight you if your camera is not on. All right, thank you. I'll be putting you on spotlight now. All right. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, sir. I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing great. Just to mention, it's your hand that we can see, but it's fine. You may want to tilt your camera upwards a bit, but yeah, how can we help? Oh yeah, there you go. We see you now.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Well, I'm a Ghanaian. I can see most of you on the platform are Nigerians. And then I'm a software developer. I've been in the industry for almost 13 good years. I had a first degree in software engineering and a 2-year diploma in software engineering. I've done a lot of projects. I specialized in PHP, MySQL, and other aspects of programming languages that can help me develop applications. I've done so many projects for government organizations, individual private companies, and a whole lot. But I want to find out from this section, how can I apply for the global talent or technician, if it's under exceptional talent or exceptional promise, how can I do the application?
Okay. First of all, because you have more than 5 years of experience in the field, you only have one option. It's exceptional talent or nothing. Exceptional promise is only for people with less than 5 years of experience in the field of tech, saying that, oh, this person is promising to become a leading talent in the field of technology. Now, in terms of your application, you sounded like a consultant, right? You sounded like you built different solutions for different companies. By default, you would not qualify. However, if it is that you built some software that you've deployed for multiple people, that is a product. For example, maybe you've built hospital management system for 5 different companies or 3 different companies and you deployed the same solution for multiple companies. That in itself is a product and may be packaged as a product because really, it's really a product that you sold to multiple individuals at the same time. But if you go forward with a profile to say I'm a consultant and I've done fantastic business tech consulting for the last 15 years or X number of years, you would by default not qualify. So the question is, have you contributed to products? Have those products had traction? Then you may be able to add evidence as regards significant contribution. Or that product itself, was it innovative? Who said it was innovative? Did he get into different accelerators or did he get into different programs that was adjudged as innovative? Then you may qualify under the innovation criteria. Or were you all over the newspaper in Ghana? I believe you said you are from Ghana. Did you have recognition on different newspaper? Have you spoken in different conferences and so on? So what I will ask you to do is something I mentioned, which is that visa guide, take a look at it and compare your profile with it. There's a section in the guide that breaks it down to say, have you done X? Outside your day-to-day employment, have you done Y? And then based on that, you would be able to then do either a self-appraisal or if you need help with from eMigr8 community, that's also fine. If you need help from one of the coaches, that's also fine as well to say, oh, fine, we need to do a roadmap of your career. I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully you can see it. So what I'm saying is that in this section of the guide, can you see my screen, sir?
Yes, sir. I can see.
All right, then fantastic. So in this section of the guide, it says that have you led the growth of a non-profit with specific focus on digital technology sector, evidence by reference letter from leading industry experts? Do you have this in your profile, sir?
Yes, please.
All right, fantastic. So you need to then list out to say these are some of the things you have on that for this category. It says outside your normal day-to-day employment, you have done substantial contribution to open source projects. Have you done that, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay, fantastic. So you want to bring out some of the documentary evidence for this, and then you want to go through each and every one of the points like that to say what are the different things that you have done that would tick some of these boxes, and that's where you want to start from. Also, there are some open days that I can't remember the name of the facilitator, but there are some open days that you may want to watch because we have people who are in the same category as you. who have done different consulting and all of that, but they've also done products and they were able to qualify for the visa. You may want to find those open day videos and watch them, because each speaker broke down to say, this is what I submitted, these are the relationships I had, and so on. And so you may want to do that as well. Did I answer your question?
Exactly, sir. Thank you very much for the clarification.
All right, then. Thank you so much. If you have questions, you can raise your hand on Zoom. I see, yeah, so I'm going to take you off Spotlight and out to Spotlight, and then unmute yourself. But before you unmute, yeah, so somebody says, how do I apply for the endorsement letter? So you need to go through the criteria, as we've mentioned, read the visa guide, and then you can apply based on what is requested of you from the visa guide. Somebody else says, I'm a self-taught Python developer, Django and data science for more than 4 years of coding. I've written some Python and certification from Coursera. I did some project on data science, which is in my GitHub account. Please, how can you help me to get hired? I'm doing internship with Bincom Academy. Interesting. So this question is not really about the Global Talent Visa. I'll just say that this Global Talent Visa is what our focus is for today's eMigr8 Open Day. But to answer your questions, since I've read it out already, you are not doing an internship with Bincom Academy. You are taking a class with Bincom Academy. If you qualify and you pass that class, then you, if you qualify and you pass that class, you may be offered an internship in Bincom Dev Center. So that's what you are currently doing. You're doing a 1-month class, which may lead to the internship with Bincom Dev Center. In terms of your profile, a couple of challenges is that you don't have any real life experience, and that's a problem. Because if you did, you won't be telling me about things that are in your GitHub account. You'll be telling me about real life projects that you've done that real life users are using. That's where you need to start from, whether you do it within Bincom Dev Center or you do it within any other organization as well. You want, or you build your own startup, right? We have something called Labs by Bincom, for example. You want to build real life products that real life users are using. That's the first part that you start from. And that's where you go from, you are just learning to beginner level. You are not yet beginner level if I was to assess you, for example, right? And then once you've done that, the next step is you want to move from beginner to the intermediate level, and you go on from there. So that's where you want to start from. There are not many rules for people at beginner level. And I said you are not yet even beginner level from what you've said here, right? There's more rules for people at intermediate level. There is a lot of rules for people at advanced level, whether in Nigeria, in Ghana, in UK, in US, there's a lot of vacancies that people cannot fill today. And the reason they cannot fill it today is because they can't find the right people to fill it. In the UK alone, over 100,000 roles as of today, that people, they are looking for the right people to fill it. So they don't mind if the person comes from anywhere in the world, as long as they can find the right person to fill the role. All right, so how are you doing? You should have, yes, you've unmuted yourself. How can I be of help? Okay, so you're speaking, but we cannot hear you. You need to check your mic.
Okay, hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay, good evening. My name is Joel.
Okay, it got worse again, so you need to put the mic close to your mouth.
Okay, my name is Joel Okoromi.
Hi, Joe.
Good evening. I'm a software engineer. I have about 5 years of experience. My core stack is PHP, and I've been working towards becoming a solutions architect. But I'm not sure if I have enough experience to actually own that role. My question now is concerning the global talent visa. I'm planning a startup, but I'm not sure. I wanted to build an MVP first, but I don't know if I don't know the platform that I can use, like an accelerator platform that I can use to get the product out there, or just put some publicity to the startup. And also I wanted to know how can I organize the qualities I already have? Because I'm also where I work. I'm also an instructor. I teach people software engineering and across different tech, tech platforms like those that are doing product management, those that are doing project management, and then also some software engineering. So I have a platform where I work where I mentor.
If you're still there, Joe, you went off for a while.
Them, um, that's the process for acquiring the global talent visa. I also applied for mentorship at Bincom. I'm waiting for acceptance
All right.
so I can add more holidays.
All right. Joe, so you went off for a while, but I think I got the crust of your question, right? So you are about to build a startup, right? You haven't yet built it. So you want to start building that startup as quickly as possible. I generally will advise that you build it with somebody else, a friend or anybody else in the industry as a co-founder. You have the technical skill. You want somebody with the business skill to be a co-founder to you, right? Because the things that your skills will then complement each other at that point. In terms of and hopefully you watch the replay video because I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. But in terms of the packaging your profile, it will depend on what you already have. So, technician visa guide is where you want to start from. To say this is what you already have in the technician visa guide, right? And based on the things that you already have, based on the guide, we determine what is left or if you already qualify for the visa, right? Which product-led digital innovation or product is it that you're going to be focusing on to say that that's your claim to fame? That's what makes you a leading talent or a potential leading talent in the field of technology. Those are the kinds of things that you need to take a look at in terms of your profile. You mentioned that you've applied for mentoring within the Bincom mentoring platform as a mentee, right? And yes, we are trying to recruit more mentors into the Bincom mentoring platform. And so I'm sure that as soon as there's a mentor that matches your profile, you'll be matched to a mentor. And I'll just say to people who are experts in the room to say that we do have a number of mentees that we've not been able to match. And we are looking for you as an expert in the field of tech to volunteer as a mentor on the Bincom mentoring platform. We have a scarcity of mentors at the moment, and we have a number of mentees looking for mentors on the platform at the moment. I'm not sure if I got all your questions, but your network was not very good. If there's a question I missed out, please drop it in the chat and hopefully we'll get to it before we end the session today. We're coming towards the end of this session. I did mention if you waited till the end, we have a gift for you. We'll be talking about that gift in a moment. All right. Okay. Yes, so I will ask to unmute yourself. Hi, Alex. Mike.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. So my question goes this way, but first I would like to mention one or two things. What I have currently is that at least for the last Bincom hackathon, I created a product with some of my team, or should I say with my team on a stock, let me just say stock product. And for the last two Bincom hackathon, I also came first. I am my team. Then aside from that, I have a year plus experience. I've worked with different technologies thanks to the Bincom internship program. And with all this, where can this lead me to? Because I've started building competence, and at the same time, I've also registered for the Bincom, like last by Bincom, that's a pre-incubation program, and it has started pulling traction at this. So where do I fit in? Or maybe I don't fit in. So what do I do from here?
You're on the path to fitting in as exceptional promise, but there are still a number of gaps that you will need to fill over a period of time. One of them is that, yes, winning hackathons is good, but that doesn't say much. It's a good supporting evidence. It's not a good main evidence. What you then need to start looking at is you want to start working on product-led digital innovation, where you can point at your achievements with documentary evidence for that innovation or innovations, right? You mentioned Labs by Bincom, and Labs by Bincom is one of the programs that Bincom has that helps with that. But please bear in mind, the Labs by Bincom itself is pre-incubation, right? What that is that you use that to start testing out the ideas, building some sort of MVP that you say, oh, fine, maybe people will be interested in this. But if you are successful at that, what is expected is that you can take that product forward into an incubator. It could be the Bincom incubator platform, or it could be any other incubator, or you can do it yourself as well. The key point is that you have to build that startup or product to a point where you can show innovation, recognition, or significant contribution. You need to pick two out of those three: innovation, recognition, or significant contribution. And for each one of those, you would find information about what are the things that Technation specifically is looking out for. And then over a 6-month period, over a maybe 1-year period, you are building those things. But you want to make sure that you are taking a look at the guide. You are taking a look at the roadmap. You are taking a look to say, this is what we need to be. Right. For example, you want to be in the newspaper once or twice in the next couple of months. If you are targeting recognition, for example, if you're targeting innovation, then you either want to be able to apply for patents or start looking at innovation programs that can say, surely this thing that you are building is innovative, right? If you're looking at significant impact, then you need to show numbers. You need to show numbers of number of people affected, amount of Naira made, amount of money saved, and so on. You have to be able to show one of those things, either as a founder or as a employee, but a significant employee of a startup. So you don't have to be the founder, but if you're already on the track of being founder, fantastic. You can also be an employee, but you need to show that your contribution in that startup is one of the reasons why that startup is doing well today. And that's part of the things that you need to be able to show. So my answer is that you're on the right track, but there's still more work to be done. I hope that helps. Oh, sorry. You can unmute?
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right, then. Thank you. I think we have time for one more question. But before that question, I'll just take a look at the chat. Is there no visa sponsorship that is through job offers for broke techies like me? Yes, there are job sponsorship visas. It's not the visa we are talking about today, but those visas exist. But the visas exist if you can show yourself as skilled in your field, either at intermediate level or at an expert level, but you must show skill. There are open days that you can go watch as well. We have an open day focused on landing a tech job in the UK tech ecosystem. That open day will show you a lot of things and give a lot of tips. It's 1.5 hours of information. We have an open day around the German Blue Card visa. The German Blue Card visa is also a visa that is tied to a work employment, and it's the European Blue Card visa, meaning the entire Europe opens up to you, because it's not just for Germany, it's actually for Europe. That visa exists. There are people who have gotten it, who have spoken on this platform, and they've spoken over a 1.5 hour, giving you tips of what you can do, websites to visit, what your CV should look like, and so on. So there's a lot of information available, but this session is focused on the UK Global Talent Visa. And then, all right, so we have time for just one more question, but before the question, I'll just do a few housekeeping as we bring this session to a close. Today's edition, we focused on resources that you should know about if you are interested in the UK Global Talent Visa. We spoke about a number of videos that has been done. open days that we've had in the past around different tech-enabled visa routes, and some of them the UK Global Talent Visa route. So we spoke about that. We spoke about some resources. If you've gotten endorsed, if you are moving to the UK, there are resources available to you within the eMigr8 community. Join the community, ask questions, engage in the community, and those resources are available to you as a member of the community. We spoke about the visa guide. We spoke about the discourse channel. We spoke about the eMigr8 community itself, because eMigr8 community is also available to help with your move to the UK or any other country of the world, particularly if you are interested in tech-enabled visa opportunities, particularly if you're interested in tech-enabled visa opportunity. eMigr8 focuses on tech-enabled visa opportunities. So there are many visa opportunities available from all over the world, but we focus on tech-enabled visa opportunities, and there are several of them available from different countries of the world. Many different visa opportunities are available, and some of those visa opportunities are the ones that we speak about on eMigr8 Open Day. We coach people on them, we handhold people on them, and we are always happy to help. Some of our services involve, on the free side, is information, inspiration, the open day, the community, open coaching sessions, visa specific office hours, short inquiry session. But then we charge a premium also for some of our services. And on the premium side, we have the coaching sessions and a number of other resources as well. We have packages as well. If you're interested, move to the UK as a UK Global Talent, move to the UK as an innovator founder, which focuses on the UK Innovator Founder Visa route. It's a new visa route that has just opened up in the UK. It is them shutting down two routes, UK Startup Visa, UK Innovator Visa, to open up the UK Innovator Founder Visa route. And that's something you may be interested in exploring as well, depending on your level and depending on your profile. We mentioned that if you waited till the end of this session, we have a gift for you, and this is the gift. Normally, we only allow one free private eMigr8 short inquiry session per individual, only one. But because you've waited till the end of this open day, or you've watched the replay video to the end, you get access to a second inquiry session for free as well. The first session, the way we think you should use it is after you've done all your research, you are clear exactly what it is you're doing. You've Googled everything that we've spoken about today. You've done the research on the government recognized site. You've looked at many resources. You can then come into a session and ask the coaches question around your own unique circumstance. And the coaches will answer to the best of their ability and to the best of the information available to them. You do that, and that's free for everyone. But because you've waited to the end of this session, you get a second of such session free again, because by the time you have that interaction with the coach and you need more information, you can then do more research, prepare yourself, and then you can come back for more questions with a coach within the eMigr8 platform, and the coach will be able to answer your question as well. And this is for you as a member of our community. We also say, ask questions in the community, engage with us in the community. We have coaches in every one of our eMigr8 communities. So if you ask questions, you engage and all of that, you would be able to get feedback as regards those. Two more things to do before I come to the last few questions in the chat. First one is, bear in mind some of the other services of Bincom Dev Center that we mentioned. The Bincom Global Tech Program is fantastic for the beginners in the room who are trying to build their career in the field of technology. The Bincom Global Tech Program is also fantastic for people who are at the intermediate level of trying to move. They realize that they don't have the right experience or the right exposure, and you're trying to build that. The Global Tech Program is fantastic for you. The mentoring platform is available as well, and we are calling for mentors on that platform. Labs by Bincom is available if you're interested in building digital technology startup. Labs by Bincom will help you with that, bringing other like-minded people who are also interested in the same type of journey. And the Bincom Tech Career Coaching Service is also available for those interested in a tech career coaching service that would lead to a job that could lead to sponsorship, visa sponsorship it's only available in the UK at this point, but then we are looking at expanding to other countries as well. So that's the first one. Second thing is we typically speak to the 5 community within the eMigr8 community. So sorry, we speak to the 5 categories of people within the eMigr8 community. The first category are beginners. And what we say to beginners is that you know what your profile needs to look like in a year's time. What you should be doing is continue building, continue working. Understand what we mean by being globally attractive and then work towards it. There's a lot of work to be done. Aside from building your skill, you need to build your exposure. Aside from building the skills and exposure, you need to build experience as well. Many of these opportunities are available not at the beginner level, at the skilled level. So at intermediate and at advanced level, that is where many of the opportunities we speak about on the eMigr8 Open Day platform, that is where they are available. But because you're a beginner, you can plan. For the intermediate level people in the room, what we say is that take a look at your profile. What are the gaps? Fill those gaps as quickly as possible. Do you have the right skill, but then you're not doing enough outside your day-to-day employment? You need to fix that. Are you also building relationship with people that can refer to you as exceptional and promising in the future? If not, you need to work on that. And there are several other things as well. Take a look at that same profile, that this is what your profile needs to look like. What are the gaps? And then start making attempts and taking actions to fill those gaps. If you're at an advanced skill level in the room, then fantastic. What you then take a look at is, and what we say is that many of these opportunities that we are talking about, they are available today. Some of them will not be available tomorrow. And I don't mean tomorrow literally. I mean, in the future, they won't be available, right? Some of these opportunities will be adjusted. The UK startup visa, for example, which formed our move to the UK in 3 to 6 months. And a number of people benefited from that last year and 2 years ago, moved to the UK in 3 to 6 months, no longer exists today because the route has been closed. Right. So make a while the sun shines is all we're saying. Don't wait for the next year to say, oh, they talked about some of these opportunities, but I didn't do anything about it. Google it. Start by looking at the criteria. Start by looking at the requirement. Start by applying even if you don't need it, because in some cases, they may not be available in the future. In some cases, you may not qualify in the future because, for example, exceptional promise is 5 years. By the time your profile is more than 5 years of experience, then you cross over to exceptional talent, no other option. And if you have 10, 15 years of experience in the field, the world is looking for your skill. The world is looking for your talent. And then many opportunities exist. You have to then be able to take a look at what is right for you, what is right for your profile, what is right for your unique circumstance. For people in the UK specifically who are not on a pathway to settlement, this is one of the options that you may want to explore. However, it's not an option that you would explore overnight, right? You need to plan for it. The only thing I'll also mention is we find a number of people in the community. Some of the people in that category are students who move to the UK under a student student visa, masters. And what happens is that they discount all the experience of the past and just see themselves as a student. But it's not true, because you have 5, 10 years of experience in the field in tech before you became a student again. Why don't you dust that experience? Because that experience is in demand, and then maybe get career coaching and so on, so that you can focus on not just being a student, but showing yourself as a skilled worker. And you do know that there are skilled worker visas available because they can see you as skilled workers. And if you are planning to apply immediately for the UK Global Talent Visa, which is the 5th category of people that we'll speak to, we are here to help. You can start with the 10 minutes free coaching session, but there are 2 of them that is available. There are also resources where people are looking forward to helping you to answer questions. Many of them free, but some of them at a premium as well, right? Take advantage of these resources as much as possible because they're available to you. don't wait till when you've applied and then you were rejected before you start making use of those resources. Make use of the resources from day one, because it may actually shorten your journey. Thank you so much, everyone. There's a last question, and then we'll be closing the session today. I'm a Python developer. I don't have product yet. How can I build my skill enough to have product to be eligible for this visa package? Start with Labs by Bincom. Labs by Bincom is not the answer, but is the pathway, for example, to the answer. Join a product-led organization. Volunteer in organizations that are looking for developers. There are several things that you can do to start, but you cannot start by, you cannot have started without you starting. Sorry, let me say that again. The starting point is that you need to have built things that real life users are using, products that real life users are using. If you are still captain localhost, you have not started, right? I know some parts of the world will tell you, oh, yes, you have started and all of that. As far as I'm concerned, and my own idiosyncrasy, you haven't really started, because nobody is using your product yet. Nobody is using your technology yet. Go find somewhere to volunteer, for example, and build stuff that people can use. Yeah, so I think I've answered most of the questions. Thank you so much for joining us during today's edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Was this useful for you? If it was, could you please drop in the chat or in the comments to let us know? We would like your feedback. Was this useful? Because this is part of how we can continue doing this. If we get the feedback from you to say, yes, this was useful, or if you have feedback as well of how we can improve, we would like to hear it as well. You can drop that in the comments as well. Let us know. Was this useful for you? If it was also useful for you, we ask that you share this information with others as well. It's free information, but then don't let it stop with you. There are many people where when coaches come on the session, they tell us that, oh, the way I found out about the visa, somebody told me about it. I didn't think it was me they were talking about. Then they told me about it again. Then I went to look at it. So share this information, share this video with other people, share the eMigr8 and eMigr8 community with other people, and we feel like we would be able to impact many more people. What eMigr8 does is to help you become globally attractive. Our focus is on tech-enabled visa opportunities for relocation and settlement. This has been eMigr8 Open Day, and we look forward to seeing you in the community. Thank you, and God bless.